There's no need to do anything, there's no need to push anything away, and there's no need to grasp at any particular state. So simply allow yourself to be here and allow your eyes to close. And feeling the ground beneath you, supporting you effortlessly. Sensing the weight of the body being held. There's nothing to achieve here. You're simply resting in the now. And as the breath moves in and out, you may begin to notice a subtle aliveness in the body, perhaps a warmth in the chest, or the soft pulse of the heartbeat. Or tingling in the hands. It is simply the aliveness of being. This isn't something you need to create. It's already here. And now allow your attention to shift from the sensations within the body to the space in which they appear. Becoming aware of an openness that is aware of the body. An openness that is aware of breath and thought and sound. Perhaps noticing that this awareness is not inside the body, nor is it outside the body. It simply is. Allowing awareness to soften and open outwards, just like the sky, without borders. Holding everything. Breath, sound, sensation, thought. Holding it all without effort and without preference. And simply rest here. And as you rest here in this open awareness, just like the sky, you may sense a quiet radiance underneath everything. It's not a light that you see with your eyes, but an inner luminosity, the luminosity of awareness itself. It's transparent, clear, silent, yet intimate. It is not distant from what appears. It is not distant from the breath. It is not distant from thought. And yet, within this luminous, transparent, quiet awareness, the breath is allowed to be exactly as it is, rising and falling with its own intelligence. Thoughts are allowed to pass like birds across the sky. They come and go, but the sky remains. Sensing how this radiant awareness has no edges. It includes the body. It includes the room that you are in. It includes the world. All this arising in a seamless field of presence. Allowing the heart to open gently. Simply allowing everything to be as it is. Perhaps there is a sense of tenderness here. Or perhaps simply a neutral stillness. All of this is welcome. There is nothing to change, nothing to fix. Now allow yourself to ask a quiet question, a soft question from within. A question that doesn't require you to reach for an answer, nor to try and understand with the intellect. It's like an echo from the depth of you. And the question is, what is it that is aware of this moment? Just allowing yourself to feel the openness that the question may reveal. What is it that is aware of this, whatever is here? What is it that appears and fades away, and yet that which perceives that which appears and fades away remains? What is this? Again, don't try and find an answer in your mind or your knowledge base. Just simply allow the question to drop in. Okay, so as we transition now into opening our eyes, just notice that the awareness that you rested in, the open space, the open field of awareness, the sky that you rested in, does not disappear as you open your eyes. It's the very ground of your existence. It cannot be lost or diminished by anything that you do or think or feel. It's always shining at the center of your life. It is simply inherent in the fact of being aware. Even before you know what you're aware of, this awareness is here. That's why it's referred to as luminous or light. Because it's here prior to the content of your experience, but not separate from the content of your experience. It's that which allows experience to be experienced, to be aware of thought, of feeling, of sensation, of perception, of sound, of taste, of smell, all of it. It's been with you right from the beginning. As you were born, as a child, through every stage of your life, it's always with you, in pain and in joy. It's only seemingly diminished or obscured because it's overlooked. And it's overlooked simply because our attention is captivated by thought and emotion and the experience of my life, me and my life, the drama, the movie that plays itself on the screen of awareness. This is not to deny or negate or diminish the movie of your life. It's unavoidable. But when attention is totally captivated by that, it believes itself to be that. It derives identity from that. And therein lies the suffering of the me self, the illusion of the separate self. Whereas where the content of my life, the experience of my life becomes the most important thing. And of course, we'll attempt to create or manifest or hold on to those experiences that we like, that we want, that make us feel like somebody. And we'll try to avoid those that we don't want, that we don't like, that we feel are unwelcome in our experience. And here is the divided experience, the divided life, the divided mind and the divided self, and the source of suffering. So really the invitation of freedom from the movie of your life and the story of me And the drama that entails is to recognize, to realize that which never changes, that which has always been with you, that which is always with you, that which is the foundation or the ground of the whole of your existence. And it's at this point we start to use the phrases awareness or light of being or the radiance of being. And here the mind often kicks in and asks, how do I achieve this? How do I stay in a state of awareness? Because the mind is always looking for a quick fix. It's looking for a prescription. How do I do this? Should I focus on sensations so that they dissolve and then I can realize true nature? Or should I focus on awareness and ignore sensation and thought and everything else so that I can remain in the realization of awareness as my true nature? These are the wrong questions. They're innocent questions, of course, because they come from a sincere longing for peace. But in some ways they're misdirected. They arise out of the belief that comes from the separate self that awakening out of the dream of the me self, or awakening out of me and my life, will rescue you from discomfort, will allow you to escape from the vulnerability of being alive, from the ebb and flow of life, which is unpredictable. You can't control life in that way. But true awakening or true freedom, true realization is not an escape. This we have to be clear on. It's an intimacy. It's an intimacy with what is. It's a revelation of the light of being shining through every moment, not just the pleasant ones. Shines through fear and peace. It shines through clarity and confusion. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's the realization of that which is always here and has always been here.